starting a new recording here. All right. So, for today's DAO agenda, we have the proposal summaries, and then we're gonna have 4 different segments of talking. It was a refreshing hangout, you guys. Thank you for that. That was awesome. We're gonna start with closed proposals. There was one, and it was the fund creation of Ghostly Gladiator MVP. It was a core prop that by Zygo, it ended July 6th and passed with 86.12% in favor. Okay, welcome White Ranger to the stage. I'll get to your proposal in a minute if you want to say a few words. Current active proposals are GM. First, increasing the XP award to 250 for successful core AGIPs. It's a SIG prop by Phantasma, and it runs July 1st to July 15th. And it's for the increased incentive for core proposal writers, XP this time limited to 1 gotchi per contributor. And Phantasma hopes for this SIG prop to give some much needed boost and motivation to proposal authors, which leads to good things for our DAO. Couldn't agree more. Next up, we do have the proposal by White Ranger, the Gotchi Chain Battleverse demo, an open source Battleverse built with Godot. And that is a proposal July 1st through 15th. Set of multiplayer gotcha games with PvP and team battles, such as brawls, racing games, and more, with blockchain integration. This is estimated to be a 7-month project, and funding will cost 25,000 USDC. White Ranger, do you have anything to add?
I mean, when it comes my time, I'll share my screen. I just added a Linux build, so anybody using Linux can now play.
Right, yep, so there were builds for PC and Mac, and the Linux build just came out. So.
Yeah, I released that today.
Yep, awesome. And you can feel free to share your screen if it doesn't need unless you have like a presentation to go with it. Otherwise, you can just share it whenever.
Yeah, I was just gonna play and see if anybody wants to join and play. I'm loading up my laptop now.
All right, sounds good. All right, moving on. Next up, we have a SIG prop called Unity Defense of Aave. It's by Flame Vipers. By Flame. The first it was posted. It had to be reposted. The original window was July 7th through July 21, and the new one is July 11th through July 25th, and it was reposted to use weighted voting instead of quadratic voting. As a summary, it's a survival defense shooter game that combines elements of incremental tower defense and match 3 tiles puzzle shooter elements. The gameplay is entirely skill-based, but holders of Gotchiverse NFTs should get higher rewards from playing. It will be playable on PC and Android. In terms of funding, the project is asking for 47,500 USDC and is estimated to take 6 months or less to develop. And yes, like FaZe said, most of these are close to quorum, except for the rarity farming proposal. But you know that there's a lot more time on that one. But yes, next I'm going to mention the rarity farming season 9, which is a SIG prop by Cryptogotchi, and the window is July 11th through July 22nd. This rarity farming season is proposed to begin on August 10th, with rewards happening until early October. And that's it for the active proposal summaries. Next up, we have other discussions. First, we would like to mention the DAO facilitators adjustments, which Ace requested a slot, a brief slot before we move on to the next slot. Right here, I have the thread, and it suggests more rules for the DAO call structures and also raises the question about what we should do now that hardcore has stepped down, which is important stuff that we could talk about. Ace, do you want to speak for a
Yeah,
minute?
actually, I would like to speak to the crowd that's attending the calls weekly, and most of the time I see the same familiar faces in here, and I really would like to know what all of these 45 people would like to see happening right now or later in the situation when something happening to one of the facilitators, and what's supposed to be done in cases like happened just not so long ago with a hardcore that is not probably not gonna be attending the calls because as it seems like it's been decided by him to like leave the community and he was selling his assets and all these people who's right now here is the one who's actually a target for the facilitators itself, because you guys are the one that listens to all of these calls. So uh, I really would like to know what you want to see happening in the cases like this or after the situations that might be happening in the future again. So what these people who's right here right now would like to see happens after this. So I don't really have much to say. I just would like to raise the attention, and maybe you want mm, to talk about this right now, or maybe you can go to that thread and say anything you would like to say. Because yeah, I requested some time, but maybe someone would like to come to the stage and say something. It's gonna be easier to talk about the situation like that, or maybe you're gonna
Can
chat.
you? What are you actually saying, man? Could you like give a? You're asking us to talk about something, but you don't have like.
What we should do after the hardcore leave, and what is supposed to be done in the situations like this in the future if it's gonna be happening again.
Right. So as
We
far as
talked
I
about
know,
this last week, and the DAO needs to have some processes for filling in gaps when people leave, like for facilitators or the DAO directors are working on their own kind of charter for that. It's pretty simple. If the DAO has an election for something and someone that is elected leaves from that position, the DAO needs to have some process to fill that position again, and that should apply to all like paid positions in the DAO.
yep,
Oh,
definitely.
you mean that it's supposed to be a election again, or whatever it's supposed to be?
GM.
GM
Uh,
Fifu.
Hey, Fufu.
Sorry, I just wanted to talk about that, but Kudadan, you almost said everything.
Okay.
I just feel like same as we did with the AGP, it was something lacking in the initial proposal. There should have been a clear path of what are we supposed to do if someone decide that I'm leaving the structure, like Hardcore say doesn't want to be a facilitator anymore. There should have been a clear instruction that well, I think the directors can't even stop to pay him without another proposal. But I think should have been a clear instruction regarding the fact that we needed a new vote or whatever. But so far, I think it has to be a new proposal to remove Hardcore from the position officially, and then eventually to, if the community wants it, to elect someone else. But that's the way.
Yeah, the proposal itself didn't mention anything about transition of power, about paying people if they stop doing anything. It was a very optimistic proposal. So, uh, whether we need to do another proposal on how to solve this one-off issue, or probably better would be the DAO thinks about how to handle all transitions of power between paid positions, whether it's for an election and snapshot, is it just using the next person in line gets the position, or is there a full election required? But those are kind of basic. If the DAO is going to start having paid positions, those are some of the basic things that we should be covering.
Yep, agreed. And that's what we had. We asked ourselves the question with the AGP. So there was a chapter in the proposal about what happens if someone leaves or if someone is revoked, and how we are supposed to handle that situation. And yeah, you're right. Every proposal that elects people should have that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's yes, it's too optimistic.
Right.
So Ace, it sounds like you have some ideas for what you'd like to see, or if that inspires you, feel free to go and create a SIG prop for that idea if that vibes with you, or we can continue this conversation in the thread there.
Yes.
Sure, sure. The thread is fine, and let's see what the community thinks, because there was only like few voices, and the crowd is quite big. The crowd is like 40 people, but there was only a few people actively talking about this. But thanks for attention. Let's move on.
Yes, personally, I'm fine with whatever the DAO wants to do. Just us three, you know, me, FaZe, and Foreign. We're just trying to get into like a structure kind of routine right now. So we're just figuring it out since there's an odd number of us, but it's nothing we can't handle in my opinion, at least for the time being. As far as, you know, having a fourth member, it would be welcomed. Is it like completely necessary? I'm like maybe 75% on that. I don't know. But it's, you know, not just my opinion. Everyone else should have a say as well. Yes. But as far as the additions that Ace also mentioned in that thread, you know, I'm all for adding more planning and structure to the meetings, and that is why we're here after all. That is why we are elected. And I already do see some improvement in those areas as we go. We also discussed having like accessible recaps after each call, and we're already on the way because I just gained access to the DAO YouTube channel, and I'll be uploading there, linking it in the Discord. For now, the agenda's Discord until we get a specific channel for that. Yeah, I might end up doing editing and cleanup if others can write the summaries. But yeah. And yeah. Anyway, if that's it, we can just move on to the next. Unless FaZe, do you have anything to add?
Whoa, am I mute? Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh yeah. I was actually kind of confused about that what is it, facilitators transparency thread. Like I saw the discussion, but I didn't really have much to add to it just because I was kind of just observing. But from what like I kind of agree with what Thrax is saying about like uh I assume that like if someone gets hired for a role and then for whatever reason they leave like without kind of fulfilling the role, I thought that that would mean um that they wouldn't be receiving payment. It seems that in the thread, you know, they had some different ideas, which is like, you know, it's fine, but the idea is, the thing I was more concerned with was in the original thread, it was supposed to be 4 facilitators. So it was supposed to be 4 people. And the way that that's working now with us, like just trying to organize about like who can make it to the calls and who couldn't. Like when we had 4 for the first week, we did the whole month, right? We said like, we had like 2 of us that could guarantee to be at least 2 calls that month. And everything kind of worked out that way. When it's 3, it's a little trickier. So my bigger concern was just to see like a replacement, and then it was like, okay, what's the method that we go by to achieve that? And from what I'm, you know, from what I'm gathering just now from the feedback is that they want people, you know, the people that are interested would probably just like to see another election for a 4th. So yeah, that's my take.
Yep. Yeah, so if anyone wants to start up that election, that would be welcomed for sure. So yeah. Moving on next to the
If I may add,
yes.
sorry, just some people seems to think that only 3 people are enough. So it's not really my opinion, but in that proposal, maybe there should be also a box for people who think that 3 is enough. But it also depends on your own feedbacks, Roxiano and all other facilitators. I have no idea about it, but some people seems to think like that. So I think the proposal should also take this solution into consideration.
Yeah, agreed. There could be like another option to have just the original ones stay, and then maybe veto another election. It really
I think 4 is better, but some people seems to
Yeah.
think 3 is enough. So I don't know.
yeah, everyone has different opinions on it. And I guess the DAO can decide what happens to the funding as well, how that would be dispersed if we don't elect a fourth. There are a few options that it could go with that could go like in either direction. But yeah. So if that is everything, we can move on to the next thing. There was a thread in the DAO discussion channel called DAO Participation Badges Brainstorm Thread, and Coder Dan is the author of that one. Basically, the idea is that Spirit Force, Arena, and Gotchi Guardians have badges for your Aavegotchi player profile, but what about for the metagame, the DAO? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a fun idea. And yeah, just make it clear, these are badges for the profile, your player profile, which if you've gone to the DApp recently and you go to your inventory, there's like a player profile area with a bunch of badges from SFA and Gotchi Guardians. But our kind of vision for that is bigger, and we would love to have a specific section of those badges that are actually just for the DAO, and like obviously rewarding participation in Aavegotchi DAO, but also giving people like a clear path and showing them what we value, what kind of contributions we value as a community. So they would come in there, you're a new user, you come in and you're looking at your badges and you see Aavegotchi DAO. You're like, oh, what is that? And you come over, and some ideas I had would be like, we could say, if you've made 5 or if you've made 1 prop that made it to core prop, that would be like a potential badge. If you've made 5 props that made it to core prop, so not many in the community would be getting that one. Probably Dr. Wagme and a couple others would have that badge. And there's also going to be a way to highlight up to 4 badges in your profile. So when people go and look at your profile, they could also see like, oh damn, like this guy's a DAO maxi. This person is like really involved in governance. So I think we can do a lot of like, we could do like a retroactive badge airdrop to people based on DAO activity. Everything is on Snapshot and in the forums and stuff. But yeah, I just want to have like a little brainstorm about what are some ideas for badges that people have. I think I put a few ideas in there for how many times have you voted? Have you voted on 1 prop, 10 props, 100 props, 1,000 props? Have you authored and reached quorum with some SIG props? Like maybe reaching quorum on a core prop is different. Maybe it didn't reach core prop, so you could have a badge for SIG prop and for core prop. So just want to open up and see what are some ideas that people might have.
Yeah, awesome. We have a couple ideas in the chat already. One idea, DAO Novice, Intermediate, and Master badges. So we could have like different levels for each. We could have a shield skin. That's
What does that mean? A shield skin?
Thrax said a shield skin for high level
the Citadel
DAOers.
Knight skin.
Yeah, something like that. um,
Yeah, dude. Imagine if you're like a high-level DAO member, you could unlock a DAO shield instead of the normal Citadel shield. How sick would that be?
Well, exactly. What does it mean to like? We don't have a levels for our DAO right now, which the badges are like an initial working towards that and kind of integrating it directly into the player profile. So if you had like a certain badge, then yeah, maybe you would unlock the DAO shield skin.
Yeah.
Cryptogotchi says you should get a badge for finding your profile on the badge site on V2. Is it really that hard? Happy to take any feedback. If you think it's really hard, you can mention it in the UI channel. I think it's fairly standard, like kind of what they do on OpenSea. But if it's that bad, yeah, please raise some comments on that. Have a DAO novice, intermediate, and master badge. Yeah, can do that, but we gotta assign like what does it mean to be a novice or an intermediate and a master.
yeah, maybe it would depend on whether either. Oh, there could be points maybe, like you earn points like based on like how many DAO proposals you vote on, and then you get more points if you like write a proposal yourself. You get maybe like triple the points or something like that. I don't know. And then those points could count to the different tiers. I don't know, just
Yeah,
an idea.
basically, I could see it being like a rolling counter, like an average, a thing that kind of slowly resets points and measures your activity both in voting and making proposals. But the proposals thing, I'd say like the caveat that the proposal should pass for it to count for points.
So they're kind of two things. If a point system is something we already have in the player profile, I was thinking more of this would be an extension of the badges system that we're already making for that, and it would kind of sit in the player profile as here's your DAO achievements. So not really, kind of like one step beyond, or I guess doing it like a full point system for the DAO would be the next step in this.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like the way that we're kind of measuring. So like essentially every time we would give you XP, we would give you these points in roughly the same scale. The only difference would be that XP doesn't reset and this would slowly reset.
Yeah, I have a question.
Maybe.
Is it like so the higher only incentive is for if the proposal passes. Why would you say that's an important thing to include? So like for example, if someone votes no and the proposal passes, they won't be incentivized for that. What is the
No, I
reasoning
meant
behind
just for
that?
posting.
No, I'm just because you said like if it passes, you get points if you vote like yes, or does it matter what they vote or?
No, I'm not talking about the voting. I'm not talking about voting. I'm talking about
Oh,
posting specifically. So if you're posting random spam proposals, we wouldn't be rewarding you for that. So it would just be proposals that were posted that passed would be rewarded for authoring, essentially. But you would
right.
get XP for voting regardless.
Yeah,
Not XP, but points.
right. Yeah.
I can tell you, Pixelcraft is not going to make a point system for the DAO. If someone else in the DAO wants to do that, that'd be sick. We are going to be doing badges first, so just want to clarify that. Like, we're not interested in doing a whole DAO point system right now. Maybe next year, but for now, we're just interested in what are some. Does anyone have any cool ideas for some badges that we would add to the player profile?
All right. Yeah, sounds good. So,
I've got the thread here. If anyone has any ideas after the call, wants to jump in, and otherwise, the ones that we've listed here will probably be in the initial batch, and then if we have more ideas in the future, we'll add those in. But just yeah, we wanted to give some more love to all the activity that's happening here in the DAO. At the same time, we're also working on a new. Some of you guys might have seen this floating around. new DAO contributors page on the DApp, so you'll be able to anyone who's ever made a proposal in Aavegotchi DAO that met quorum, I think, for the SIG prop, you're going to be featured on that page if you want to be. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah. If you have any ideas, go over to that thread, and if you're just curious about some of the what's going on with that, read that thread. So without further ado, we can move on now to the ETHCC debrief. We have FIFU on here, and this was an event that was carried in Brussels recently. FIFU?
Yep. Mr. Seb, I think, will join me too. He's in the audience. If you can just invite him. He raised his hand.
It's not giving me an option to invite. I think he might have already been invited.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting the same thing. If you could just try to leave and come back and raise your hand again, maybe that'll fix it.
I see White Ranger is up here already. Was he supposed to be next in line here, or is he coming later?
I didn't have the list, and I didn't have much to cover. I did finally get my screen share working. I have a Linux version. I'm just like 1.02% away from quorum, so
Oh,
any
shit.
whales that want to send it over the edge, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Send it.
Yeah, go vote for White Ranger's proposal, the Battleverse. It's a really, yeah, it's so close. Did you have anything to add, White Ranger, after if I can like put you in after the debrief? Do you have anything else?
I mean, if anybody has any questions or wants to DM me or any devs or anything, I mean, I'm just ready to rock and roll. I mean, I spent a lot of time getting everything ready and kind of dialed in. It's just a process to getting the vote through, securing the funds, and paying the devs to keep working.
All right, awesome.
Cool.
And we have Mr. Seb on the stage now. So,
Jim.
GM.
Hello, Seb. Okay, so basically we went to ETC, came back yesterday during the night. The conference started on the 8th, 2 events in Brussels. It was a very large event, and we need to thank the Gotchi creators, and especially Light Piglet, who sponsored us to get here. And basically, we presented the Aavegotchi IP during all the convention. We also participated to 2 side events that were more dedicated to gaming. Mr. Seb is posting some pictures, and the team was Oliver Spoon, Maxi Crouton, Mr. Seb, and myself, basically. So we were on the 6th because the first event was the 7th, meaning one day before the official opening of ETC. The event went well. It was not very crowded. There is kind of really a lot of side events on ETC, like hundreds, I would say, literally. And but it was nice because it was a good way for us to warm up and get used to the position, how to present the game, have the right speech to how to present what is Aavegotchi DAO. We also encountered quite some holders or some people that bought some portals or some Gotchi at the really start of the Antoine or a bit later, and that basically they were kind of surprised in a very positive way to say that things are still moving, because there's a kind of guy, oh yeah, the tattoos, who invested like randomly in a lot of NFT projects at that time. Most of those projects are dead. So when they see that now they are in a position where they can use their Gotchi to play real games, they are extremely satisfied by the news, and so they want to try the game. And so yeah, I think this was a very positive point. So yeah, the day of the 7th was cool. We met Mark Zeller, we met a few FFMAD, a few OGs and Gotchi holders from French community. And on the 8th, we went to ETC. There was some nice conference. I can confirm to everyone that Sergey from Chainlink is always and still wearing his blue plaid. No problem with that. And we were approached by quite a good number of people just because we were wearing the Aavegotchi IP, which was pretty cool. And in all those people, there was one, how can I say that? Mid-sized whale from the ecosystem that basically I never heard of him, and the guy has quite a large wallet, and he was very happy to see Aavegotchi people in here. And for example, he was not even aware the battler was a thing, so we run him through all those things. He tried the game. He was extremely happy also. And then we went to the BG event on the 9th, thanks to Mr. Seb, who has good connection with Blockchain Game Alliance. And Seb, if you want to talk about the day of the BGA day, basically.
Yeah, in fact, it was a really good event because it was a mix between some other games. So it was a good opportunity to have some connection and some discussion about the Web3 gaming events. And it was also an opportunity to see another project on wallet and so on, and to compare the idea. In fact, there was also, it was, I don't remember the name, but it was an entity that can help us to provide some tournaments, for example. We can invite the community, their community, to play some tournaments there with incentive. And there was a lot of different partners to talk about, like the guy from Ubisoft, the Web3 director.
Yeah, it was kind of surprise to see him.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it was very friendly.
Yeah, he was very friendly and very open to discuss where Ubisoft are trying to go. In fact, they are trying to onboard the Web2 people and into the Web3, but without all the technical aspects. But they are not forgetting the DAO aspect. In fact, he was curious about the DAO, how it works on Aavegotchi, and they are thinking how to implement it also for their next games. So
And,
it was a good
and
event.
the event was good. The event was good because there was, compared to the other events, there was way more people. The event was in a very nice venue, very well organized. So yeah, overall, I think it was the best event we attended, with the booths, with a setup to demo the games and all that stuff. So yeah, it was. We need to thank Maud from Blockchain Game Alliance, because she really set up something very nice for all our partners. So yeah, that was a very nice moment.
Yeah, it was really nice, and to meet also again Sébastien Bourget from Sandbox also. So yeah, it was a good moment.
I was not. I didn't realize that the guy was such a, not to say a rock star, but basically, yeah, he's the kind of guy, like when he's inside an event, like if you want to talk to him, you have to wait in in line, because everyone wants to talk to a Sandbox founder. So yeah, a good. That was a very good event. On the 10th, I went to Chainlink for kind of a developer bootcamp, which was not only Chainlink. It was not fully Chainlink centered, but it was very nice. I talked to one of the devs that basically was aware from the start that we are using VRF. He knew the protocol and so on. And there were technical stuff about CCIP and a lot of other aspect of Chainlink. But not that much people in the event. And we went to the rave party, the Aave party, where you have this big ghost on top of the crowd. So it was very fun. And what can I say? On the 11th also, and we went to Alchemy also the same evening, Coderdan, because basically some people from Alchemy, and they were extremely happy to see us, to have us. Like Nick, is that the guy you know from Alchemy, Coderdan? Oh, Coderdan's not here. Well,
Yeah, that's Nick. He's
Nick is
one of
super
our
friendly. Yeah.
yep.
He
Like our
was
BD
he was
contact
like
guy.
at the entrance outside of the venue, and he was greeting everyone. And he saw us with a shirt, and like he didn't ask us for invite IDs or anything. He put us he let us in directly through everything. And
That's awesome.
Alchemy event was very nice. Also, the only downside that they were teaming up the event with WorldCoin, and I'm not sure about well, I'm not sure WorldCoin is a good publicity for them, I would say. But yeah,
They have
that's
eyeball
how it is.
scanners. Like if you want to get in the
Yeah,
event, scan the
eyeball
retina.
scanner were there. Yeah, but at the end of the evening, I noticed one thing is that all the merch from Alchemy were gone, and all the merch from WorldCoin they were still there. And basically, I did not register on the WorldCoin stuff. I don't see it. I don't know. We are not going to talk about it, but not really my stuff.
I don't know.
So
People are sleeping on that WorldCoin merch. Get some of that merch because in the future
yeah,
they'll be
there was really
they're going to be our
a ton of
overlords.
stuff left. Yeah, a ton of stuff was left, and the 11th, the last day was quite. How can I say that? It was quiet on the ETC because basically it was the last day, and however, whatever you did on the previous days, there was so much side events, so much place to be, so much conference to attend that it feels like people wanted to take it easy on the last day. And the closing ceremony was very nice. We heard that next ETC will be in Cannes on the French Riviera, so I guess it will be nice. Very happy about it because it's like 2 hours from my place driving. So I told the organizer I was quite happy with the choice regarding the new location. And more specifically about Aavegotchi, I have to admit that just the fact that you're wearing an Aavegotchi t-shirt into those kind of events, because people come at you, you engage in a lot of conversation, you made a lot of contacts. Many times people talked, they were thinking that we are the founders of the protocol, because when we told them we have a grant program to to send active community members to event, everyone thought that this was really a very nice thing, and that it was a super idea. And the merch, everyone likes the merch, everyone likes the stickers, everyone likes everything we prepared, the candies that Mr. Seb prepared, and everything. In that regard, it was like, there are all those tables around the convention, around the amphitheaters in the ETC or in all other convention where people drop some stickers, people drop some flyers, and so on. And the main ETC Aavegotchi sticker we prepared, basically every time you dropped some at one place, if you come back to the same place half an hour later, all the stickers were gone. It was like, everyone liked it. And I also realized when we compared our setup in the event, we really participated with a booth to do some demo. That the IP, the colors, and even the fact that we had a video presentation with that I think came from the Denver and so on. Basically, the people are way more attracted to the Aavegotchi IP than they are to other IPs. And there is a real edge in those kind of events. And the people who played the game were quite impressed, even if most of the time they played against bot, but they really liked it. We showcased the connection through MetaMask. I had it ready on my phone so that people could see how the process was going, and it worked. It worked well on during those days, so it was pretty cool. And they also like the fact that basically we made the demo on I'm not going to say an old laptop, but the laptop was not that recent. It was one laptop from Mr. Seb, and the guy liked the fact that the game runs very smoothly on a computer that is not a gaming dedicated computer, especially SFA, because those kind of games like 3D third-party shooter and stuff like that, they tend to ask for quite some resources. So, but they like the design and the fact that it works on a computer that was not that big. Al has a question. Can you guys speak to any business developer you all may have? Al, what is BD exactly? I'm sorry, I don't know all the acronyms in English.
Biz dev, business development.
The most interesting people you guys talk to. I think first regarding the most important people, I think Seb, if you can give the list of all the people who received their Oli beer mugs, because they were all very happy, and we try to handpick them very carefully.
I passed it in the chat.
Yeah. So Seb Bourget, Max Zeller, the Hyperplay CEO, who came to the booth unannounced on the second event, like sit down, wanted to play the game, and tell us just a bit after, I'm the Hyperplay CEO. That was fun. Nicolas Pouard from Ubisoft, yes, they really, well, they have someone in their company that is called head of Web3, and at the same time they are releasing AAA games. So I think it means what it means. It means those big players, they are coming, and they are interested in protocols like Aavegotchi, who are way ahead of them in terms of experimenting, in terms of knowledge regarding all this universe. And they are also interested in the way a DAO works, basically not because they want to run DAOs for every of their games or they want to use these exact models, but they have kind of a frustration in the fact that they are throwing millions in AAA games and sometimes they are missing the targets, I would say. So that was their angles. So Nick from Alchemical Course got also his mug. And Lola, who basically was the manager from Blackpool at the time they entered Aavegotchi. She left 2 years ago, but she works with Mark Zeller and ACI, and she got us tickets for the rave party. So
she's also super OG, very like
she's super OG, and like we met her on the 7th at Cerveles, the first event. It was kind of this group of people that came at the end of the day just for the party because they just arrived in Brussels. And yeah, same. She saw the T-shirt. She came to me and she said, "I am Lola," and so on. And we started talking. And 2 days later, she delivered us the tickets that we would have been totally unable to get by ourselves, I guess.
That's awesome, amazing.
Yeah. So a lot of very good connections. One I would mention because they have a project that, in my opinion, from the brief they gave me, could really be an addition to something to us, is Elysium, because basically they have a protocol to specifically deploy contracts on a VM, any VM shell, to create, manage tournament and esport competition and stuff like that, and they have a community.
What was it called?
Elysium, if I remember correctly. ELIISIUM.
Liaison?
So I haven't dig up.
Liaison?
Like this.
Elysium.
If I remember correctly, it is like this.
Oh,
I think
Elysium.
I've heard of them. I think Lost Local has mentioned them to me before. I'll look at it a little bit more.
And yeah, on paper, when they briefed me, they described me what they were doing. It seems like there was a possible angle, like if we don't want to redevelop from scratch how to handle a tournament on Gotchi chain. That was the idea. But yeah, it has to be checked more properly, I would say.
Is it
And
this? Sorry. This
so
one
please,
here?
please.
I think it was Olympics.
Olympics.
Oh, Oh, I know them. We talked to them
Oh, my
a
bad.
long
Sorry,
time ago.
Olympics.
Okay, yeah. We actually talked to them very early on, and they were had a solution for basically like battle royales that we were like, actually, we already have something that we're using, so we didn't go with them. But maybe they've gotten more since then.
They diversified, like they have a platform so people can create their own game, and they have kind of they say they have kind of an SDK or whatever, but they also have now all this part that is only smart contracts, and the fact that they have their own community and they want to diversify the list of games they can propose to their community. So, well, who knows, maybe.
Yeah, we'd like to
And
hear
yeah.
more about that. Definitely, for sure. We are coming up on to the last 10 minutes of the call, so I will need
So
to.
I have just one
yeah,
last thing. So
just
I
one,
have
just
just
one.
one
Let
last
yeah,
thing
just
because
yeah. Go
Light
ahead.
Piglet won't be happy about it, maybe. We had BGA director Mod. She told us that she has secured a booth from the Gamescom on Cologne. Like it's in 1 month and a half or something like that. And it's one booth for all the members of BGA. So it's really a very limited space. Like she told us every members can have one booth, one screen for 2 half day during the 3 days of the Gamescom. And she asked us if we wanted to go there. So I'm just relaying the message, but basically we are closed. We can do it, but I don't know if it's the right time. I don't know if the timing is right for us. I don't know. Not my call, I would say. But the offer is here. That's it.
I didn't catch the conference.
Cologne, the Gamescom. It's a general, one of the biggest gaming event in the world, basically, or at least it's the number one in Europe. And the booth is in the
Okay,
B2B
in Cologne.
sections. Yeah, it's a very, very, very big event.
Gamescom.
So I don't know if we're ready. I don't know if we want to do it. I don't know if it's the right moment. But we can go there basically for free because BGA has already taken care of the booth, and because basically Pixelcraft is member of the BGA, there is no cost for the booth. We just have to send people
BGA
there.
is so goated. I don't know how much we spend on that, but it's great. We've got a great ROI on that. They're so goated at BGA. So cool. Riding with them.
Yeah. They really deliver their event compared to
do.
a lot of other side events we talk about with people. Their side event was very nice. And yeah, I think that's it. If you have other questions, please feel free to ask. But I think I've talked way long enough. Sorry about that.
No, thank you. That was really awesome. A lot of good stuff to hear about. Sounds like a really based event that happened. Thank you, Fifu. Thank you, Mr. Seb.
And thank you, Maxi Crouton and Oliver Spoon.
Yes.
They delivered a lot. They were very good speaker when it comes to onboard people and explain the protocol because they know it in and out. So always nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great. Amazing job, guys, as always, with the greeters. You guys, everyone's always crushing it.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a real pleasure to get there. So no problem to do it again.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Maybe we'll have you on again very soon. So for the last bit of this call, I'd like to congratulate the winners of the wearable design competition. And Soju, if you're still around, I'd like to have you come up to say a few words. If you want to put your hand up. Otherwise, we can go over to the winners. Welcome, Soju. You are on the stage now. And I can post some of the images of your art here while you talk a little bit about how you came up with your ideas.
Okay. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, cool. Let me think. So sometimes I can be bad about talking about my own work, but we'll start with the pet rock. I hope you guys enjoy the rock. It's a really simple design. I don't have too much to say about like its creation because it was kind of a one-off. Like I just made this shape and I just kind of filled it in with like a few different tones and made that like really simple derpy face. And I was just like, I like it. Like I'm just gonna go with it. I kind of got lucky like right off the bat. But then I was gonna submit it for the rarity tiers. So I wanted to do something different than just kind of like changing the color. So it was originally like putting weird stuff on him, like glasses and like crowns and like other kind of like gotchi looking stuff. But it just wasn't working out, and at some point I just gave him like little like limbs, like arms and legs. And I just started laughing super hard. And usually, like when my work makes me laugh, I consider it like a good sign. So I went with that. I went with like the derpy rock that kind of just like grows limbs or whatever. Yeah, it's been really funny to see some of the remixes in the wearable chat. Like Lagan made a version where he's like doing like a disco stance. It's really cool. And I think Phantasma made a version where he's like laying down and kind of like lounging. I think that might be the best thing about the rock really is that it's just so simple. It's kind of like Play-Doh. Like you can just kind of like make it do whatever you want and just make limbs grow out of it or whatever. But yeah, that's the rock. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to like put them in the chat or whatever, and I'll try to read them. But I guess the granny glasses are the second thing that made it. I guess there's kind of more of a backstory behind that. So I don't know if you like, I'm like a 90s kid and I really loved Rugrats like growing up.
Same.
I still love the way, yeah, like I love the way the lines are drawn and just, I mean everything about Rugrats is great and like Reptar and like I love it. But so I was trying to make these like bulky square purple glasses and I was gonna call them Finsters and kind of model them off Chucky Finster from Rugrats. And I'll throw it in the chat. This is like the original, what they were like starting to look like, but I didn't like it. I was like, these aren't really like working out. Maybe I can't create like my ode to Chucky Finster. So I just kind of started like playing with them and like, you can tell it's the same purple and like tones. But yeah, I was just adding more and subtracting and kind of messing with them. And I just sort of started like thinking of this like those grandma glasses that have those like really foxy wing tips on the top. Like they're like
Yes.
little like lashes almost. Yeah. And
I
I
kind of
kind of
have those
created
on my
those
glasses, but I'm
and
not a granny.
I mean they're foxy, so like
Hey.
but the granny ones have the like they're like huge and really pronounced. Um and then when I made that, I was just like, wow, if I could make those like strings, I guess it's like a neck string thing. So like if their glasses fall off, they like get caught around their neck. Um but yeah, I was like, wow, if I could make those, that would be like the yes, Chonya, like that.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, if the strings work, like it'd be a really cool wearable. But like it's like a super reduced palette, so I have like 4 or 5 pixels. But I made them and the shape worked out, and I was like, oh my god, like granny glasses. And I thought gold would be cool because gold kind of has like, I don't know, this kind of like nice appeal and flex to it, and it would go with some of the other wearables. So I made the chain gold. I kept the original Chucky Finster purple colors for the glasses because I kind of liked them. And I kind of modeled the halftone off these old Warby Parker glasses I had in my 20s that were kind of like cut right in half and had two different colors on the top and bottom. And I always just thought it was a really cool design. So I kind of gave the granny glasses like two different shades of purple that sort of like cut through them. I should just post a picture in the chat of them. I'm talking about them and I haven't given a little image. Let me see. Granny
I got it.
glasses. Okay, cool. I was honestly surprised out of like the 16 things I made that like the granny glasses were the real hit here, but like I'm stoked. Like it was really fun to make those. And yeah, those were fun because like I had no plan to really like make it. I just like it just grew out of like a bad design that like sort of turned into something else. But yeah, that's the origin story, I guess.
It's evolved glasses. Yeah, they're really cool
Yeah, it
looking.
was super fun.
Yeah, and the rocks are
I
adorable.
don't think I've. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the rocks are super fun. Let me post this little GIF in here. We're trying to like see if we can come up with a version of him that's maybe standing. Okay, here's Mr. Rock. I kind of made like a cute little little GIF of him just like doing a little hug while he's sitting. But we're still trying to work out what the rarity tiers should like look like. Zbot had some cool ideas that like maybe changing color to like represent different like minerals or stones or crystals could be cool. It could be something different than the typical like purple, teal, blue like raffle rarity. Or we could continue with like the limbs and kind of make the regular version just like have nothing and then make it like keep growing and standing up eventually or something. But yeah, the whole point is that he's just like a little derpy, simple design. Um, I implore people to like mess around with him. I put a PSD file, a Photoshop file, in the wearable contest thread, and like anybody can download that. It's safe, and these are all in layers. If you want to like mess around with the rock or like make your own version, heck, maybe you'll make like something better than me, and we could like use it. I don't know, but like feel free to like play with the rock.
Yeah, awesome.
Pebble feet. I love that. They are pebble feet. You're right, Musashi. But I think Lagan needs to talk, and it's getting to the end, right? Does Lagan still want to come up and talk about the Licky?
I love the Licky. It's so adorable. I'm not sure Lagan's around.
He's actually on it. Yeah, he's on a flight right now. He's out of town, so I don't think he's gonna make it to this call.
Yeah. But
Oh, okay, dang.
no problem. Yeah. It is 12 o'clock. So the call is about over now. Thank you so much, Soju, for speaking, and congratulations to all the winners of the design, wearable design competition. And yeah, this just about concludes it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah.
Thanks for coming out, friends. Another great hangout and DAO call here.
Have a great weekend,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Peace.
Thanks. Enjoy your Sunday and Saturday. Peace.